time to predict the scores of week 24 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. Last week, Mr. Frank Sidebottom FC came away with 19 points and 5 perfect scores. Absolutely amazing. There is still one game going on this evening that's about to kick off in about 15 minutes time. That's Arsenal against Manchester City. A few other players also came away with great hauls, particularly Tell, who had 4 perfect scores, Daddy Cool 52, 4 perfect scores, and the Heaver with 4 perfect scores as well. How that affects the overall leaderboard now? Well, Ferris 77 still top of the table on 216 points, but Mr. Frank Sidebottom FC 214.5 points, and Bogner Rocks 212 points. Incidentally, Frank Sidebottom, I think I can remember him from children's TV back in the 80s. Can't remember what it was. It might be in Saturday Superstore or something, but yeah, let me know in the comments. My mind is a little bit hazy on that, but enough of last week. Let's just get down to it and make some predictions.
Okay, so first up we have the midday game between Arsenal and Aston Villa at Villa Park. Now,
Saturday.
Mr. Good Evening facing his old club in Arsenal, and saying that Arsenal started to stumble a bit, aren't they? Drawing to Brentford and then they lost that game to Everton, which we all remember. But then again, Villa not in the best of form either. They've lost their last 2 in a row, both heavily as well, may I add. So both teams stumbling a bit, but depending on what happens with Arsenal tonight, I do think either A, they'll build momentum, or B, bounce back from a loss against Manchester City tonight. So I'm probably going to just narrowly back them 1-0, but I wouldn't be surprised if Villa can pull a draw in this one.
Really, wow, yeah, it is at Villa Park. Villa do like to score. They haven't actually blanked in their last 6 game weeks, getting on the score sheet, so I think they will score here against the Gunners. Depending on this match this evening against Man City and Arsenal, if Arsenal suffer defeat, they're going to have to, as you say, bounce back straight away, and I think they will, whatever the outcome. Even if they beat or draw against Manchester City this evening, I think they're going to come away with a 3-1 victory, especially with their midfield. Moving on to the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, we've got Brentford, high-flying Brentford, coming up against Crystal Palace, all London affair. Palace always a tough nut to crack, however winless in their last 6. They've only actually won 6 out of their 22 matches so far this season.
In fact, they haven't scored in many of them either. I think, what is it, 1, 2
in their last 6, you mean?
Yeah, 3 goals in their last 6. It's not great.
No, well, Zaha really off the boil. I'm not even sure if he's injured at the moment. I'll have to check on that. Brentford, absolutely amazing. 8th position at the moment. Only 4 defeats this season in 22 matches. A good draw away against Arsenal last time out for them, and prior to that it's a comprehensive victory against Southampton. So I think they will take all the points in this game, but I think it'll be a little bit tighter than people think will happen in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Bees.
Interesting. I've gone exactly the same as well. I just think Crystal Palace, they need to find that victory against a side quite lower than them in the table to get some confidence back in there. But Brentford have just been on fire recently, so I can't see anything other than a Brentford win, unfortunately. So 2-0 Brentford. Next up, we've got Brighton against Fulham. 6 versus 7. Yeah. Both teams in very good form. In particular, Brighton, who I thought no more said about that referee against Crystal Palace, because he was an absolute joke. And then whereas Fulham, good win against Nottingham Forest, good draw against Chelsea. Yes, they did lose to Tottenham and Newcastle before that, but those are 2 very difficult fixtures there. So interesting one, this one. I can only see a stalemate, to be honest, though. Like,
what are you going for?
1-1. Difficult, really difficult to predict that one.
Yeah, I've gone exactly the same as you on
There
this
will
one.
be goals in it.
Every time I predict Fulham to lose, they seem to either get a victory or a draw. Brighton, fantastic midfield, like some McAllister, Mitoma, Marsh, really exciting going forward. Gross as well. I think evens will be shared on the south coast. Mitrovic firing blanks recently, but his teammates are contributing on the goal front, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up, we got Chelsea coming up against Southampton. Southampton were on the brink of bringing in Jesse Marsch as their manager. Eyebrows a little bit raised on that one, but he's not coming in now.
That's a lucky escape for Southampton.
It is, but they are bottom of the table, rock bottom, 3 points off nearest rivals Bournemouth. Defeated last time out at home against Wolves too, where it could have been even more in that match. So
yeah, Wolves are brilliant.
Yeah, so I think Chelsea, 3 draws on the bounce now. João Felix is looking a pretty good signing to me. You raised question marks a few weeks ago on this one, but I think he's been decent. He scored last week as well. He's looking one of the better of their recent signings, and I think they will this time get all 3 points, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I didn't agree with the decision in getting rid of Nathan Jones, to be honest, because at the end of the day, who is going to get a tune out of that squad, to be honest? And I think whoever they're going to bring in now is just going to be worse unless they go for like a Pochettino or a Bielsa for me. So Chelsea, lots of draws recently. They need a win, and this is the perfect opportunity to get that. If they don't beat Southampton, then that's a disastrous season for them. So 2-0 Chelsea. Anyway, moving on to an interesting one. Everton versus managerless Leeds, of course getting rid of Jesse Marsch last time around, and then Everton losing to Liverpool, offering up a-ish fight, but Sean Dyche is going to have them fired up for this one, let's just say. And in fact, I think Everton are going to win again and probably move themselves out to the bottom 3. So 1-0 Everton.
Wow, I'm actually going to go complete opposite of you, Nathan. Okay, against Liverpool, it was... They had that chance, I think it hit the post or it was ricocheted, didn't it? And then Liverpool went up the other end and scored with Mo Salah.
Not the greatest of goalkeeping positioning by Pickford,
it wasn't,
shocking.
but I think Liverpool in the end probably thoroughly deserved to win that match. Leeds managerless, a lot of talent going forward. Leeds, exciting, but they will concede.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for a Leeds victory in this one. Both of these teams only have won 4 times in the campaign this season as well. So I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 away victory to Leeds. Then we move on to Nottingham Forest against Manchester City. Forest, okay, they pulled themselves out of the mire, but a defeat last time out away against Fulham 2-0. I think Man City will repeat that scoreline here. Nottingham Forest looking a lot better defensively, but this Manchester City side should be able to get through that, and I can see them winning 2-0.
Interesting. Yeah, I've actually gone 3-1 to Man City. I do think Nottingham Forest will nick a goal in this one, but the thing I find is, in particular with the Guardiola era, Man City tend to eat teams alive who've just come up and are playing away. So yeah, I think that trend's going to continue. 3-1 Man City. Anyway, moving on, next up we've got Wolves against Bournemouth. Wolves very impressed under what they're doing under Lopetegui, whereas Bournemouth currently in 19th, starting to push up a little bit. Defensively, they're not conceding too many goals. They are slowly improving, nicking the odd point, but I do think they are finished. However, I think it's going to be an outlier because I'm really impressed by Wolves at the moment. So 1-0.
I don't think that's a bit of an outlier. Wolves at home, Bournemouth in terrible form. Okay, 2 draws out of the last 3. One of those was a draw against Newcastle as well, which was last time out. However, defensively, Wolves looking very good at the moment, which means Bournemouth won't score. Wolves will probably nick a goal at some point in the first half. Bournemouth going forward, they'll nick another one. So 2-0 to Wolves for me. And then at the 5:30 kick-off, tea time, we've got Newcastle against Liverpool. Well, you're tucking into your afternoon tea, you could say, in the UK. Newcastle, 4th position at the moment. Only 1 win in their last 6. It might even be 7 now. 3 draws on the bounce, not scoring the goals. They're not conceding many, Eve.
They've only conceded 13 goals this season. That's impressive.
Yeah, best defensive record in the division. Liverpool will take a lot of heart out of that victory against Everton. Players coming back now. Gakpo getting off the mark as well. I think they'll score, but Newcastle at home, St James's Park, tough nut to crack. I can't see anything between these sides, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. I do think Newcastle, I cannot actually see them losing to Liverpool.
No, neither can I.
100% think that Newcastle are going to get all 3 points here, especially considering Liverpool's recent form. Yes, it was an improvement against Everton, but Everton at Anfield, Merseyside derby, there you go. Liverpool's away record has been absolutely atrocious. 9 goals conceded, 1 goal scored. Yeah, 2-1 to the Magpies. Anyway, moving on to the Sunday matches at the 2 o'clock when we got Man United against Leicester. Now, Leicester rising up to 13th, 2 victories on the bounce, 1 against Tottenham and 1 against Aston Villa. 8 goals scored. That is very good.
10 goals in the last 3 matches, Nathan.
Exceptional. And then they're coming up against a Man United side who are also in decent form as well. Beating Leeds, drawing against Leeds, then beating Leeds, and then also beating Crystal Palace. So grinding out the results they need to. I think they're going to do it again. 2-0 United.
Yeah, I think at home, Manchester United, different kettle of fish. Very strong going forward. Rashford is having the season of his life, isn't he?
And copying celebrations from Ruben Neves.
Yes. Fernandes is looking good as well, and defensively they're strong at home. Leicester City, as we said, 10 goals in their last 3 matches. Maddison's come into the party now. In the Achos, whenever he gets on the pitch, he scores or assists. Did well last weekend. I think they will score, but I think Man United will run away with this one 3-1. And the last match of this game week takes place at 4:30 live on Sky on Sunday. We've got Spurs against West Ham. Spurs losing against AC Milan in midweek in the Champions League. And West Ham, they've hauled themselves out of that bottom 3 with 2 draws and a victory in those last 3 matches. A good draw against Chelsea in the last match, 1-1. I think they'll repeat that here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Can't see them winning. Spurs looking a bit iffy since Conte has come back to coach them.
Yes.
After he was away for a little while. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this all-London affair.
Interesting. It's always a lively one, this one, isn't it, when Spurs play West Ham, so it could go either way. Spurs, I have not been impressed by them recently at all, but
they are in 5th.
They are in 5th, and West Ham, I don't know, 1-0 Spurs.
1-0 Spurs, fantastic. So that concludes our predictions for week 24 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Super Brew website, link in the description, and the code as well in there as well if you haven't already joined the league. Cardiff City, first victory in something like
3.5 months,
something like that. Goals as well, scoring more than 1 goal. Nathan, on Tuesday evening, we're at the Cardiff City Stadium on Friday evening. Will there be a vlog?
There will be. Let's hope we can actually win a game at home. That'd be nice. And as there's another manager that's gone, who's next?
Who's next in the Premier League? I don't know. If West Ham continue to lose, maybe Moyes. Southampton are looking. Everton, no, they've just probably West Ham, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's it for the rest of the season now, to be honest, since we are in February, but I think it's going to be O'Neill or Bournemouth at the end of the season, to be honest.
The only other one, if Liverpool win 5 or lose 5 or 6 on the bounce, and maybe Klopp.
No, I doubt it.
You never know. But
too loyal to him.
Yeah, thanks for joining us once again. Enjoy the Premier League matches on the weekend. Thank you for your continued support. We'll see you all in the next video.
Someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah.